Good morning and welcome to the interweb, you dog lovers. This is number 3 in the series of Wilbur's diabetic journey, and I got some good news today because we've just done a blood test and it's turned out that the current units of insulin, which is 12, appears to be doing the job. We did a fasting blood test this morning at the vets, and it's we're looking good. So we're going to double check in a couple of weeks, but right now I'm really happy, and I think that you can tell the difference because when hyperglycemia does make you a bit slow and unresponsive, whereas now he's wanting to pick fights with me and do zooming and stuff like that. So I could see the signs were there that things were improving. And the other nice thing is that the Cushman's is not working, is not becoming apparent, and that was something we were nervous about because that is a life-threatening scenario. The other good news is that he dropped down to 9 kilos, which was a tad on the low side because he's not a teacup dog. There is a bit of a thing in the Westie world at the moment on the pedigree side where they are breeding them smaller. Wilbur isn't in with that. He's quite a large, tall dog. So I'm quite happy that 9.7 kilos, that seems, as long as he stays below 10, I think I'm going to be extremely happy. If he was a girl, I'd be looking for 9, according to the vets. But as I say, with this penchant for breeding them smaller and smaller, they are going to be lighter dogs. I mean, some of the ones we meet out, and there are a lot of Westies in this area, and you meet them out, you think, oh, blimey, Wilbur's so much bigger, but he's still a small dog, whatever way you look at it. But he's really solid, and I'll tell you now, the injections are still making him squeak a bit, but he's getting used to ish. Well, anyway, the thing is though, he's so strong for his size, really. He's, Westies are, they're there to sort of burrow down and chase after rats and mice. That's what they've been bred for. But yeah, that's the good news on that front. And I think that if we can just keep his weight below the 10 kilos, and we can keep an eye on the glucose levels, I think that we're going to be in a strong position for him to live for a good few years yet, and that's my plan. Obviously, the weather's not been great for beach walking, but I'm convinced that by Easter, when the beach hut goes in and we get down to the beach more often, that he will be running and he will build up some muscle again, and that will, he'll get stronger. We are also looking at changing the insulin injection method. In the last one, you noticed that I was saying about the pens that were available where you put the syringe inside it. Well, it now turns out that Insulin, who produce the insulin he uses, do make a pen where you put a capsule inside it, and it has 108 units, and needles which are coated. So I think that might be, it's more expensive to do it that way, but I think provided the vet goes along with it and will sign off for a prescription for me, we can get them for pet drugs online, which is where I buy needles and syringes and everything. It's so much less expensive than going through a vet. Not wishing to be horrible, but you know, when you look at the Hills pet food, the diabetic pet food, the vets all want about £4 a tin, and you can buy it for £2.50 online. Got to be done. When you're living on a pension like I do, you just got to save money where you can. It gets, you know, if it comes down to me eating or Wilbur eating, I'll always go with Wilbur first because he's my baby. But at the end of the day, if we can save enough and live along, because obviously there are limitations on insurance with our policy whereby we can only spend £1,000 per year. And obviously with all the testing that's been going on, particularly with the first vet, which we won't go into great depth on that, but it was extremely expensive for them. Needles were like 50 quid, 100 quid, they were £1 each, and I can get them for £33 for 100. You know, if only I knew then what I know now. If I got that right, yes I have. We would be in a, you know, we probably wouldn't have been eaten into that £1,000. But what I'm going to do is just leave the money for testing and buy the insulin, because it's only about £50 a month, and I'll use up my £1,000. But after that, September I think it renews, so I can carry on then. We'll have to see how much it goes up. It's every year pet insurance goes up, even on a lifetime one. Anyway, so that's really where we are right at this moment in time, and I feel invigorated by the fact that I'm not likely to lose Wilbur in the short term. I don't think he's going to live till he's 18 or 19 like some of them do, but I'm going to do my damnedest to keep him around as long as I can. So thanks for all your help and support, guys. You've been great, and I will talk to you in a couple of weeks when we confirm how we're doing. And also we're going to do some, as the weather gets a bit nicer, we'll do a few walks on the beach and have a bit of fun. Anyway, thanks for your time.